My name's Roger Banks and I'm part of the GallowgateShots YouTube channel, the best Newcastle United channel on the internet and Twitter and anywhere else you care to find it. And this is my Newcastle United versus Everton match preview from the other side. Well, so far this season, I'm absolutely buzzing to be 6th. 10 games gone, we've got a really stingy defence. We've had players out injured in this time. We've only lost to Liverpool in a really contentious goal right towards the end of that game. It was a bit of a heartbreaker. But yeah, I think we've started really well. I would have been absolutely delighted to be mid-tails. Just sitting here after 10 games in 10th would have been absolutely beautiful. But to be as high as 6th, I just think it's, you know, Eddie Howe and his players and his coaching staff got to take a lot of credit for that. Who knows where we could go? You know, I'd love to finish in the Conference League places or the Europa League. You know, I think we should be trying to. We've made a good start, so let's kind of build on that. But there's a lot of games to go between now and the end of the season. So I'm absolutely buzzing. Now I lost to Liverpool, 3-3 with Man City. Probably could have won a couple of the games that we've maybe drawn. But for some dodgy VAR decisions, which I'm sure everybody's experiencing this season. But yeah, so I'm absolutely delighted. Transfers this season, I think we've done really well. We haven't, although we've got, you know, this whack of money sitting there, but I think we've been very sensible. Pope, excellent signing, definitely upgrade on Dubravka, a reliable Premier League experienced goalkeeper, and, you know, pushing Pickford all the way for the England #1 spot. Botman slowly fed into the team, and since he's come in, he looks like he's never been away. You know, like looks like he's been playing the Premier League for many years. So he's looking really good. Target, steady player, nothing fancy, just does what he has to do. Reliable fullback, good professional, and Isak. Well, he scored against Liverpool on his debut. Unlucky. The second one was offside, but it was a really good finish. We haven't really seen enough of him to make any judgments, but we trust in Eddie and the players that he's signed, so looking forward to seeing him when he's fit. Unfortunately, that'll probably be after the World Cup. Eddie Howe, War Eddie, well, absolutely delighted with Eddie Howe. I was really pleased when we actually got him. I know we could have had some, or we were linked with bigger names and all this carry on, but he's been absolutely brilliant. He's been, you know, calm, methodical. He's a progressive manager. He's willing to learn. He's a real good modern manager. You know, he had Bournemouth in the Premier League and they were consistently conceding over 60 goals a season. And he's gone away. He's looked at that, things and ways to improve himself and ways to improve the way he coaches. And, you know, we're one of the stingiest teams in the Premier League defensively. So absolutely delighted with Eddie Howe, and long may that continue. Thoughts on Everton this season so far? Well, I did think that you might struggle this season, given what happened last season, and, you know, that feeling of, oh, here we go again. Like, we've had it many times, unfortunately, especially losing Richarlison, who was a really big player, to Tottenham. I think from where I sit, I think we've been fairly inconsistent. You know, winning by the odd goal, losing by the odd goal, and a few draws thrown in as well. So not terrible, not brilliant, but just kind of in the middle of the road somewhere. I think when you get players like Calvert-Lewin back, a bit more firepower up front, then, you know, things will start looking up, I think, for Everton. Everton's transfers, I don't think there's anybody there that's kind of going to put you on the edge of your seat. I do think Cody and Tarkowski are a really, you know, solid set of Premier League defenders, particularly getting Connor Cody, who's he's clearly a big voice in any dressing room and a good organiser, and I think you need that type of player in your team. And with him being a Scouser, I'm not sure if he's an Evertonian. I think he might be a Red, but I think having that passion for the area and for the shirt is really important. And yeah, I think those are two good signings. Morpay, he's again a bit inconsistent, although he does always score against Newcastle, so don't be surprised to see him on the score sheet tomorrow. But yeah, I don't think there's anybody particularly exciting, but you know, Lampard's trying to build something. He's getting these strong midfielders in, Gay and I can't remember the other fella's name, but you know, trying to just build. Maybe he's a bit like Eddie Howe's done at Newcastle, where he's kind of building from the back, and then you know, just be hard to beat or hard to play against. Which, given your results, maybe that's possibly been what's been the case so far this season. So, okay. Big Frank Lampard. I'm still a bit undecided about him, to be honest with you. Obviously, I don't watch Everton all of the time, so I think he did really well to kind of galvanise the team at the, you know, from when he came in last season. Took him a while to get going, but he really managed to harness that Goodison crowd, which is like, I know it's a cliche, love a cliche, but it is like a 12th man sometimes, especially obviously when we played you down there, despite being down to 10 men. You know, the energy, the vibe in that stadium was just absolutely rocking. So I think he knows how to tap into that. It's with the Everton fans, but the jury's still out for me. You know, it's a long season. It's very early on, and although he's managed Derby, it's still quite early into his managerial career to sort of decide, you know, if he's going to be a success or failure. I think he's learning and growing as Everton are in this new journey that they're on. Our Danger Man, well, I think you can't see far beyond Wilson and Bruno. Obviously, Wilson's, you know, he's coming back from injury again. He hasn't scored in the last couple of games. He didn't score against Brentford. He possibly should have had a penalty against Manchester United at the weekend. But he's definitely a player who he'll love playing up against Tarkowski and Curry. That'll be a really interesting battle. Bruno, what more can be said about Bruno? You know, I think Everton's midfield are going to have to really get a hold of him. Give him space, he can do really amazing things with the football. So, and he can play in a number of different positions. And he's got a good pivot with Joe Linton as well. Trippier on set pieces, as Jordan Pickford will know all about. And Miguel Almiron's been in good form recently. Scored an absolute wonder goal against Fulham. So those are players to watch. Who might be dangerous towards Everton. Danger Man, I think probably Anthony Gordon. He looked good last season. I know John Joe Shelby didn't welcome him to St James's Park with open arms. Slightly dodgy tackle there, but yeah, a very exciting player. He's got a little bit of bite in him as well. I think he's had 5 yellow cards so far this season. So. He might need to temper that a little bit as he matures, but he certainly looks like a really, really good player. And obviously Chelsea were interested in him at the start of the season. So yeah, I would say he's going to be the danger man, particularly having been missing for the Spurs game due to suspension. So he's going to be probably chomping at the bit. And I think he seems like a sort of player who would love to play under the lights. You know, big crowd, big atmosphere. So he's definitely one to watch for our defenders. In terms of the lineup, well, Eddie doesn't like to change a winning side or a side that's playing well, so expect to probably see the same team that played against Man United. Maybe with a swap with Willock for Longstaff, but Longstaff did play well against Man United. And Willock was poorly, so I would expect to see Pope in goal, Trippier and Burn as the fullbacks. Burn might be replaced by Target, but Burn's probably done enough to stay in that position. Botman definitely nailed on. He's got to start. Shaw went off an injury, but it doesn't sound like it's too serious, so that will be the back four. And then I think probably Joe Linton, Bruno, and I think he'll go with Sean Longstaff. And Sean Longstaff will sit a little bit deeper, and that maybe allow Bruno to push on a little bit and play in that number 8 position. And then probably up along the front, Wilson in the middle with Murphy, who's come on pretty well in the last 3 or 4 games, had a good run in the side while Alan St Maximin's been out, and Miguel Almiron will play on the right hand side, cutting in on that left foot. He doesn't have a right foot, it's just for standing on. So yeah, I reckon that'll be our lineup tomorrow night. Prediction, do I commit this to the internet? I think it'll be a tight game. I love a game under the lights, as I'm sure you guys do. I'm looking for a 1-0. I think if Dominic Calvert-Lewin gets in the side, he's a danger as well. I should have mentioned him before as well, but he's been injured, so I think Lampard's easing him back into the side. But I'm going to go with a 1-0 to Newcastle. I'm going to go for even Sven. I'm going to get Sven Botman on the score sheet with a header. Oosh, big Sven. Yeah, so I'm going to go 1-0 Newcastle United win. Pre-match meal. Well, I'm not sure if it constitutes a meal, but Geordie's love a Greggs. I'm sure plenty of your viewers have been up in Newcastle and there's a Greggs on every corner. So a steak bake. I love a steak bake. Or maybe it's a sausage and bean melt. But of course, Christmas around the corner, so the festive bakes are coming. Be prepared. But also ham, peas, pudding, sarnie. That's a cornerstone of any Geordie diet. In a stotty, obviously. If you're not sure what a stotty is, Google it. Absolutely bella. Yeah, so that's it from me. Best of luck. If you're coming up to the game, safe travels. Enjoy everything Newcastle has to offer. Get yourselves pissed and enjoy the game, but not too much. Cheers. See you later.